And welcome back here to Sit Out and Field as Tumwater wraps this game up and winning the semifinal game 42-0 as Tumwater will advance to the state championship. Keith Clark, Ron Hall, Gary Clark, and Caden Clark for NFHS Networks and Eli Sports as we are going to wrap this game up. Sorry, I was a little distracted there. Tumwater went over to honor Coach Alexander there in the end zone. That was quite the touching moment, so I was a little distracted by that. And this will be our post-game show. Welcome back to the WIA State Football Championship brought to you by GISA Credit Union. This is the Aldersons Awards West postgame show for trophies, awards, t-shirts, and so much more. Go to the aldersons.net for their full catalog. So, Ron, we are now done with this game. Tumwater wins 42-0, and what a performance by the T-Birds.
Yeah, absolutely. A pattern for them so far this year, it seems, in the games I've done with you, in that they started a little slow, scoring right at the end of the first quarter to make it 7-0, but then once they got on a roll, and Archbishop Murphy having quite a few mistakes today, penalties, some fumbles, things like that, just not able to get any momentum going. Tumwater just seemed to build up momentum and take over the game in the second half.
Yes, absolutely. Was it 21-0 at halftime, I believe? And then final score being 42, so they doubled up in the second half there. Honestly, not a lot of offense by either team. Tumwater under 200 yards total offense, and Archbishop Murphy with about 80 yards of total offense, and that's unofficial. But Tumwater taking advantage, like you said, of the turnovers and taking advantage of the short field. And unfortunately, Archbishop Murphy getting penalties at terrible times and having to work from behind the sticks against his tough Tumwater defense.
Yeah, Archbishop Murphy had what could have been a key turnover early in the first quarter with that interception, I should say. But they missed the field goal. Remember that?
Yes.
And then after that, the momentum just slowly started to shift towards Tumwater. And we thought coming into this game it was going to be really competitive. Archbishop Murphy's got some big young men up there in the front line. They've got that great running attack. And I just think, for one thing, they don't have enough depth to keep up with Tumwater at this point in their development. So, very interesting game, following a familiar pattern again for Tumwater.
Yep.
Building a lead in the second half.
So not as, it's a little bit anticlimactic compared to last year's semifinal game where Tumwater had to drive down the field and just run the clock out to win that game. And they were able to do that, winning by a few points. But this year, they're winning 42-0. So again, now that defense, that starting defense for Tumwater now go 8 weeks in a row without giving up a touchdown. So looks like they'll most likely play Anacortes. They're up 21-0 at halftime. So again, a lot of football left in that game, but it looks like it's going to be a rematch of Tumwater and Anacortes for the state championship at the 2A level. And that'll be a fun, exciting rematch. And we'll definitely be here to bring you that.
And last year it was a pretty dominant performance by Anacortes.
Yes.
Winning that game. So one thing that I find really interesting is that Archbishop Murphy beat Anacortes back on October 11th.
Yeah.
And, they scored quite a few points against them. It was a fairly close game. But now Tumwater having so handily dispatched, shall we say, Archbishop Murphy going into this game against Anacortes, we presume, it's going to be really interesting to see that matchup.
Absolutely. I mean, on paper, you look like Tumwater would be favored to win that, but, I always say this is why you play the games. I wasn't sure about this game. I mean, I could have easily seen Archbishop Murphy winning this game, going into it. It's like, why not? They're powerful. They're a big, good team, but I also saw this outcome. I could see Tumwater, with that tough defense and their powerful offense, scoring 40 points is what they end up doing. So I always say every week, that's why you play the game. That's why you don't play it on paper. You actually get on the field and you settle it on the field. So we didn't talk about a MVP, Ron, as we were going into break there. We can talk about that a little bit, but let me get the sponsor here, which is time for to name our game MVP in tonight's game, and it's brought to you by Thorbeck's Wellness Center. Strong today, stronger tomorrow, strongest together at Thorbeck's. And I'll tell you my thoughts, first of all, what I want to do, and then we'll see what you like. I like Cash Short. One, he had 3 touchdowns there in the first half, which is huge and kind of got Tumwater the lead. But then Sonny Wynn with 2 huge plays for 2 huge touchdowns and some really good defense. I'd like to give them co-MVPs, in my opinion. I don't know what your thoughts are.
No, absolutely. I think it's very obvious. Cash Short, first half, just dominating.
Yeah.
Getting, great runs, getting outside, scoring right at the end of the first half. And then those 3 touchdowns making it 21-0 at halftime. But Sonny Wynn in the second half was spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely.
59-yard touchdown pass reception, 74-yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
Early in the fourth quarter, and boy, he looked really great. So
he did, and he had a couple big runs in the first half too, big first down runs.
Yes, absolutely. So Tumwater with a dominant performance once again.
Yeah, so I'll give those two, Sonny Wynn and Cash Short, the co-MVPs, with a very nice honorable mention to Beckett Wall on defense. I mean, he seemed like he was making plays on defense when it really counted on those 3rd and 4th downs and just shut down that Wildcat offense. So a definite honorable mention to Beckett Wall and that entire Tumwater defense, who has not given up a touchdown on that starting defense in 8 weeks now. So congratulations to them as they punch their ticket to the state championship game next week, set for 3 o'clock at Husky Stadium.
And those games are going to be on the NFHS Network, the Eli Sports Network, so stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely. So for Keith Clark, Kerry Clark, Ron Hall, and Kane Clark, that is the final. Tumwater wins 42-0 over Archbishop Murphy. We are out.